All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life.
Welcome to Darren and Sterling here, ESPN, Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com. Fellas, that's a hell of a Monday. Hell of a victory Monday. How you doing, Darren?
Doing well. I was wondering if he was going to introduce us. Dude,
I'm too stoked.
He just jumped right into fellas. It's like people know who's on the show.
It's Monday, baby.
It is Monday. Victory Monday. Here.
Victory Monday started at 12:15 yesterday.
I think it started before.
When did Josh Jacobs fumble?
Well, that was about
12:03,
3 or 4, but I think that was, there was a punt, a 3 and out.
Yeah.
And,
well, I think victory actually started before the game.
Yeah.
I think that's where it started.
Had they gotten to the bottom of whose idea it was to get on that logo? Derek Carr after the game yesterday.
I thought it was number 27. I thought it was the player that got hurt during the game because he was the one.
He was one of the photograph.
Yeah.
Oh, the dude that was burnt toast.
Yeah. And Derek Carr after the game said, he said, pause. I'm always going to stand with my teammates. I'll just leave it at that. So it wasn't him.
Yeah, it wasn't him, but just as guilty as the rest. So, being that made Kansas City Chiefs, they've won their 6th game in a row. Winners against the Las Vegas Raiders, 48-6 inside of Arrowhead Stadium. Of course, they move now due to a loss to from the Baltimore Ravens yesterday against the Cleveland Browns. They move from number 4 to number 3 in the playoff seedings if it were to begin today, moving to a record of 9-4 as they prepare to head into the Thursday night matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers, who were victorious by 16 against the New York Football Giants on yesterday. Fellas, as Sterling mentioned before, Sterling, let's get your thoughts of the matchup yesterday that took place.
It was just a beat down. The wheels on the bus go round and round. That's what they played after the game.
I call that shade.
I don't know why the Raiders thought this was a good idea. It was an idiot. When was the last time something like this has worked out? Like KU football did this against Baker Mayfield. Mizzou tries to hype themselves up against KU. Like, it's just silly. You're completely overmatched. It's an idiotic thing to do. All you're doing is firing up a team that has more talent and that is better than you. It's not even little brother stuff. This is baby brother stuff that the Raiders did. It's childish.
When they did it yesterday, Sterling, what was interesting is that I saw them move from the 25 or 30-yard line over there, and I didn't think that of it. I was just thinking they just needed some space or whatever. So them being on the logo, that didn't really register until I started seeing tweets and stuff about it. And then I started thinking about Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to turn out well.
That's what I said. I go, they flew, 1,500 miles to film a TikTok. Like, what was the point of that? They didn't even show up. They're going to try and sign Juju Smith and Chase Claypool after that performance.
Yeah, it's just, there's a time and a place for everything. The Raiders won at Arrowhead last year. They're the only team in the regular season to beat the Chiefs when the Chiefs were trying. Okay? And then they played the Chiefs' butt off in Vegas last year. It was a last-second win for the Chiefs. But this year, the Chiefs have only really looked good and complete once all year until yesterday. And that was against who? The Raiders. And so they come walking here on a streak after starting out. Were they 3-0?
Yeah.
So they were 3-0, and they've come in here. I mean, they have fallen apart as an organization. Their coach is gone. Their number 1 draft pick from last year has killed somebody.
Well, 2 of the number 1 draft pick, both of them.
Well, only one of them killed somebody.
Well, yeah.
Their other he threatened to kill somebody.
Yeah.
In an on-purpose way, right? With a gun in his hand, several guns in his hand. And they are not winning games. And then you decide, you know what? This is the time. Let's go out there and remember that over a year ago, we did a good thing. This wasn't like 3 weeks ago they did something good. I just mentioned 3 things that have happened. They played in front of 12,000 people at Arrowhead last year, and they won a game. And they haven't done anything worthwhile since then. And now they come in and they decide that's the day against a team that has won 5 games in a row to go try to pull that kind of junior high garbage. It was hilarious.
They had junior high.
The funniest part of the whole thing was the Chiefs win the toss, defer. All right, so they're going to put their defense, which is playing well out there.
See, now I'm fine with that.
They kick the ball 7 yards deep in the end zone. Dude runs out, dumb. They try to run a play that's a belly play to the left. Oh no, I'm gonna bust it around end. So he's gonna lose 3 yards on the play, but instead fumbles it, and it's a touchdown. So then they kick it off. What's the kid do? He just pees it out of bounds. I mean, it was unbelievable. So it was about 5 or 6 minutes after, I don't know, that they were just a mess. So the Raiders get all that they deserve for acting the way they acted yesterday. They deserve the wheels on the bus. They deserve the beat down. They deserve all of that stuff. And
what's most interesting is I know when we were at the presser this week, I think I might have asked Andy about, about the rivalry, because it just doesn't, even though they've moved from Oakland to Vegas and stuff, you still, about the Chiefs rated, what brings it added oof to it if you're a team looking to bounce back. Well, it's funny. They actually added, they
brought it.
Yeah, I mean,
Chiefs didn't have to do anything. I mean, I think that from what we heard after the game yesterday, it sounds to me like the Chiefs were focused on this Raiders team.
Yeah,
they were. Okay, and then you just had to go throw some gasoline on the fire before the game with the logo deal while they weren't even out there. I mean, pretty lame, right? That's a lame way to go about it. It's not like they went and busted the Chiefs off the logo and said, "This is our house." There wasn't anyone there to do anything, and they just went out there and tried to do it. So I thought it was, a wonderful game by the Chiefs. Now I'll be a bit of a Debbie Downer if you want, and I will say there's a lot of excitement about the Chiefs right now in town. They still haven't beaten anyone badly except the Raiders in the last 6 weeks or whatever it is, 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So this is a different animal they're playing on Thursday. The Chargers are up and down team. They can fail. They can fall apart. But
they can also put 41 up on you.
We talked about this last week. If the Chiefs didn't beat the Raiders like they beat them, I'd have been like, what's going on? Okay? Because the offense, with the help of 5 turnovers, it's not like the offense scored 40 points themselves. They got 48. There was a defensive touchdown. There were some short fields. But they did what they had to do. They were good. But I don't think the offense was as good this time as they were out in Vegas. I mean, Pat didn't throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns.
He didn't need to.
He needed at least 3. But
for your betting, maybe. But for the game, he did not need to.
I'm excited about what the Chiefs did yesterday. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. But I'm not about to say they're the 1 seed yet, because I need to see them do this against the Chargers. I need to see them do this against, even the Steelers, who aren't very good. The Steelers probably will provide more resistance than the Raiders did. I don't know.
The Raiders also didn't play much too high safety. You know how?
No, that's why. And they're the team that I was surprised when they were out in Vegas. Everyone has done this, and they're going to do it their way. And they give up 500 or 400 yards and 5 touchdown passes to Mahomes. They did a little bit yesterday, but not that much. So I think the Chargers will play the Chiefs differently than the Raiders did. But I still think this is a game that, I think the Chiefs can definitely win this game.
Well, the Chiefs have to win this game. That's a big difference.
If they want to be a 1 seed, they have to win the game.
Well, not only that, but also if they want to win the division, because they're only a game behind. Well, they're a half game ahead. If they lose, then they lose.
This is a big game for them. Yeah. It's definitely a big game for them. And I think they could lose this game and maybe even get the 1 seed, but they need the Patriots to start losing games.
They can't lose and get them because
if the Patriots lost twice, they could, but I don't think the Patriots are going to lose twice.
You forget one thing: they play Miami, and it's an automatic loss to Miami. It's in the rule book.
No, Fitzmagic's not there.
Yeah, he's not there. But also, in all seriousness, they would have been swept by the Chargers. So the Chargers, so they'd have to have the Chargers lose
a game as well,
and that's
which could happen.
It could happen.
The Chargers can lose to damn near anybody. We've seen that too.
That part is true.
This is huge. This is as anticipated. They've had a lot of games that were highly anticipated. I thought the Packers game, until they got Rodgers pulled out, was going to be huge. Yeah. I thought the Cowboys game was big time anticipation.
Not a lot of people watch that game.
I'm telling you what, the people at Fox are as fired up as anybody for Thursday night.
It's going to be, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm thinking about it. I think it's going to be Fox, at least locally, will have it built up kind of like they did when ESPN have the Rams and the and the Chiefs there, where you'll have the NFL Network on one side, you have Fox on there. I truly, because they'll both be there actually, because they'll be televising it. But this is going to be a big game. Obviously, we'll be there out there covering it. I'm with you. I wanted to ask Bieniemy which team he thought would show up. Actually, that was my question. That was going to be for Spags, because, like you said, the Chargers have been up and down, up and down. They'll lose to a team like the Denver Broncos, division rival, of course, but then they'll go out, put up 41 against Pittsburgh, put up 41. I forget who they played.
Cincinnati.
And then, of course, they played the Giants yesterday. So, that's what it's going to be.
But without Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler got hurt in that game, and Justin Herbert threw a 70-yard bomb rolling out to, I think, Guyton. I mean, they're a talented team.
They really are, but that's what just blows your mind about the fact that, they got just boat raced by the Ravens earlier this year. Just like, what's going on in this game? And they had some close losses. They lost the Patriots by 3. They lost to the Vikings in a close game as well. Those are kind of head scratchers. That's like home game that they lost to Vikings. The Broncos win was a weird one. They weren't playing well. Then the pick 6 kind of ended the game. So I don't know. They're not something you can rely on. They're not. We know what the Chargers are going to be each and every week. And well, I guess maybe who is. The Chiefs aren't something that you can rely on. They've won 6 games in a row, but they've done it mostly with defense. It hasn't been the way you'd like to draw it up generally. So I'm fired up. I'm excited. I know you're excited because you're going to be there. I'm like, this is what they dream about when they pick a Thursday night game. It's a real gamble to say, hey, in week 15, we're going to pick these 2 teams because we think they're going to be really good. Because sometimes you'll get a turd.
But not to be, I would call it Debbie Down, because Sterling and I have talked about it. Literally every Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night game have been good this year.
Not bad.
I can't really pick out one.
Last night was Bills versus the Refs. That was pretty good.
Well, that's afternoon, but I'm saying, but even the Bears Packers game was decent.
Yeah, it turned out to be good. I mean, like next Thursday, it's the Niners at the Titans, and the Niners are still kind of hanging around, and the Titans are, they're in the running for a 1 seed. So yeah, absolutely. So that's a good one. But this turns out to be divisional with like 2 young hotshot quarterbacks, and all that.
2 out of 3 weeks in a row for the Chiefs. It's a matchup that has first place on the line.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they've answered the bell. They answered the bell against the Broncos, and we'll see if they can answer the bell in this short week, because it is different, man. They have to travel. The Chargers were home and not traveling, so that's a little easier deal for them. But the Chiefs are used to it. Everyone has to do this.
What makes me confident about the Chiefs, and again, this is just me and my perception of it, is the fact that they've been here in this situation before. Justin Herbert hasn't been a situation where if they win, they're in first place. They've got the inside lane to the division title. At least the Chiefs, because of the success they've had the last 3 years, they know what it takes. They know what's in front of them. They do, and again, I think Andy will have them prepared. I think the most important thing that he mentioned coming out of his game is the fact that they're healthy. I mean, and generally, the idea is to get healthy as you get closer to the playoffs, but they're healthy really in the month of December going into the playoffs.
Well, what didn't we get answered today? We didn't get. I think L'Jarius Sneed will be back here, but they didn't say that, right?
I don't expect them back.
Well, and I was going to ask it, that they put my hand down. So
they put my hand down.
That's how it goes. Andy tomorrow will hopefully say something, but that's a really big deal. I mean, the Raiders, whatever, they're fine. And they did a nice job without him against the Raiders.
That's good.
But, I don't know. I hope, I just hope his mind gets right. This is a devastating thing, having your brother get murdered. And with all the stuff he's already gone through in his whole life, and have that happen at 3 a.m. on Friday, and you just all of a sudden you're gone. And you have to take care of your family and do all that stuff. And life happens for all of us. It's not always convenient when things happen, right? In the NFL, you really only have to be available 16 times, right? I mean, you can miss practice. 17 now, 17 times in the playoffs or whatever. And this is not the great timing for that. And if you could have even better timing, maybe it wouldn't be a week when you have a Thursday game after a Sunday, and all those things. So I haven't heard, I know the kid wants to play, but I know he's got to have his head in the right place to go play, right? So we don't know that yet.
And it could be a situation where he needs to be around his teammates that might get his mind off of, which let me say not get his mind off of it, but at least put his mind
for a few hours, get something going on, because that's a tragic deal that happened to him. So if he can't go, that changes this game more than it changes the Raiders game.
Yeah.
Right. But hopefully he will be able to play and his mind will be good and he will have some peace or whatever in his mind to be able to go play. But that's something that we didn't really get answered today with the limited Spags are probably like, I don't know. That's up to someone else.
And to be honest, Andy probably still made it because of
they may not know.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say because of when it took place, it's still like he would still have to go back because it's not granted. You finish Thursday night's game, you can give him extended time off because
they'll probably have a few days. I would think they'll probably give them as a
probably
group.
Just be off to Tuesday.
Yeah, so they'll have a nice little Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. That'll be pretty nice for them. But yeah, that's a factor in this thing. That was some shocking news to hear about on Saturday.
And kudos to the Chiefs because as Andy mentioned, his family was already in town, and so for that to happen, and for that to happen, I presume Clark allowed them to use a jet.
There's a jet, Patrick's got some sort of deal with the thing, so they got the family back down there in quick order, and he tweeted today. I saw prayers and a kingdom thing or something in a heart. So that's he's mentally somewhere at that point, but this is going to be tough on him, man. This is going to be tough. So. That's a factor that, and I don't know. We're back at to make sure everyone COVID tests okay and everything's good. Now the Chiefs haven't had issues with it really, but short week, they'll get it ready. But it's exciting. It's good, man. The Chiefs have won 6 in a row, and I don't think that any of us would have said, they're going to score 20, 19, 13, 48, 41. You'd say, they'll win all 6 of those. I don't think we would have thought that.
No, I didn't think that. Well, I will say this. What makes me confident, though, going to this game again is the way the defense has been playing. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to be important, because that was what I asked Alex Oak for today, is whether or not, can they keep that momentum going? Because I think that's going to be important, because, again, as you mentioned about the Chiefs offense, we just don't know. I still think it's kind of Jekyll and Hyde, talking about it a little bit earlier this morning with someone about Travis Kelce. He talked about getting the swagger back against the Raiders in Vegas, and he's been pretty non-existent since then. So I don't know if it's just teams pretty much just making sure that he's not a factor.
Tyreek was fine yesterday, but not crazy. He had a couple little longer plays. I thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire had one of his more complete games as a pro. Very good down by the goal line, with his touchdown runs was good. The little pass to Darrell Williams was a great design on a play.
I also
easy picking. So they did a lot of nice stuff. Josh Gordon caught a pass, and it was for 6.
You ask him if they failed him. Next thing you know, we'll show Darren. Touchdown pass.
Darrell Williams has become the actual wide receiver 2 on this team, though, because Darrell Williams has really stepped up. But I do want to say, Clyde, that one touchdown run where he bounced it outside was his best run as a Kansas City Chief. The vision, the ability to not go down at first contact, all things we've been asking to see from him, and he showed it.
What you hoped, right?
It's what you hope. You said this guy, he may not be the fastest, not the most explosive, but if he can show the vision and some contact ability, and he showed it this game. I know it was only 3.7 yards per carry for the game, but some of those were goal line touches. So
you can't go long.
You can't go long. His long was 7, but I really thought Clyde did a great job in this one.
Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City. We, of course, speaking with the one and only Todd Leabo, our sports director, here at 8:10. I don't think we even announced him on. He just started talking.
It's Monday.
It's Leabs. It's Monday.
People know, don't they?
Well, some people ask online who we speaking with. So I at least want to be mindful of that, because everybody doesn't get a chance to him. He refuses to come on camera, even though I should put him on. He doesn't want to come on camera. But one of the things that
it's Brad Pitt. He looks like Brad Pitt. But taller. He's taller than Brad Pitt, like 6'2". Is that what you'd say, Leabo? 6'2", 6'3"?
I'm almost 6'2".
Okay.
Kind of like I don't know. I'm almost an NFL player.
Mm.
Yeah, big shoulders, right?
Yeah.
One of the things now, one of the good things though is that even though Travis didn't have a big game because they only had a couple of catches, and Tyreek doing what they're doing, it is still good to see, even though he looks for him a lot, it is good to see Patrick getting other players involved because, again, by doing that, you kind of keep the defense honest because you don't know, you don't have them focusing just on two particular players. And even if they do focus on those two players, Patrick is showing the confidence that he can get other players involved and the other players are stepping up.
Well, it was a weird kind of game, too, because they had such a big lead. They didn't have to do a lot. Yeah. And this is 2 weeks in a row where they haven't had like a whole bunch of plays either.
Yeah, but players still as much.
But they're getting all involved.
Well, yes. No, but I was going to say, but as much as they try to say in the middle of the season, players still care about their numbers and their stats. They do. Because, they might not, we care about winning, but when that, week 15, 16, 17 come, and the bonuses haven't been hit, they start
thinking about them.
Start thinking about
them. To your point, Sterling, I'm reading this. Here's a tweet from Mike Clays, an NFL guy, on the two high safeties. The Chiefs have faced two high safeties less than 40% of the time in only 2 games this season.
Raiders both times.
Yeah. And they score 41 and 48 against them. So I expect the Chargers will probably not play the way the Raiders played. Even the Ravens played the Chiefs differently than they had in the past, right? You have to start changing things up. So I expect they will probably do it a little bit differently because, the proof is in the pudding. If you make the Chiefs play in a way they don't like, they're not going to score as many points. You're not going to, and the Chiefs defense is good enough that you're not going to have, like the last time the Chiefs were out in L.A. On the big primetime game against the Rams, you're not having a 54-51 game against this Chiefs defense right now. They're not going to allow it.
Did you see the defense from Chris Jones and Frank Clark? Did you see the numbers yet? They just came out earlier today.
Mm-mm.
So the Chiefs pressured Derek Carr on 45% of his dropbacks, which is absurd. Chris Jones had 10 pressures by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Clark had 8 pressures by himself. 18 pressures from those two guys. That's what you're paying them the big money for. That's what we expected Frank Clark to do. But how insane is 18 pressures from 2 guys
and sacks on top of it? That's not even sacks.
That's where I was going because I don't know if you all caught it in the league, but I don't know if you caught it while we were there. But you weren't there; you was at home. But Frank Clark got I think he got a sack on Derek Carr, but it was called off because there was a penalty. And then they came right back around and sacked him again. And I was sitting thinking, now see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the type of defense that I want to see, and I want to see him pressure because you start thinking about, man, all this money you're paying them. You should be trying to go after the quarterback each and every time.
Well, and that's one of the points today on the conference call with Spags of the Zoom was when they played the Chargers in week 3 at home, that they had
no pressure.
Well, then like Frank Clark was hurt then. I think it's when he had the issue. I don't think he played in that game.
No, I think he came back the week before because I think he was still playing in that game against Baltimore because he played in Baltimore. And I
might have been, but he was hurt. Something he wasn't right?
Yeah.
And Charvarius Ward was hurt, I think, wasn't he? They had a few guys not there.
Yeah.
So this is a different Chiefs team personnel-wise that they will have against them. And you remember that game, it was still a final possession game, and the Chiefs were -4 in turnovers.
Yeah.
Minus
four. Still had a chance, like you said, still had a chance to win. I think that's when Patrick was trying to throw to Kelsey
and they got on the wrong deal. And, and then Chargers kept going like crazy plays, 4th and whatever. They didn't care. And they're going to get that again. They're going to get that. They better be ready. That defense is doing a nice job. But if you stop someone on 3rd and 4 at their 45, don't just assume that they're going to punt the ball.
Kansas City needs to, and I'll bring this up to Andy, you need to be sure that you go for 2. Don't be afraid to go for 2 early on.
He's not going for 2.
Well, the Chargers are going to go for 2 if they score early.
He's not going for 2. He's not going for 2.
Since week 8, just going to say it, Chris Jones leads the NFL in pressures with 39. Frank Clark is 5th in the NFL with 28 pressures since week 8, ever since Chris Jones moved back inside. I get it, but pressures, I think, is the best indicator of consistent success.
Well, Frank Clark looked great yesterday, and he's been and I thought last week, I don't think the Chiefs pressured quite as well last week. It was just kind of okay, but yesterday, it was everybody. And Melvin Ingram seems to be like, how the offense generally is good with the script early. Melvin Ingram is like first possession guy. He is all over the place the first possession. Then you don't see him quite as much, but the first possession was one play and a fumble. But after that, he just gets himself back there and he really has made a difference for him. He certainly wasn't on the team when they played the Chargers.
Yeah.
because he was in Pittsburgh.
And he should be additionally motivated as well.
I would think so.
Now he'll try to make it seem like, oh, well, it's just another game now, bro. You tell that to somebody.
Phillip Rivers isn't back there. I feel like if it was Phillip Rivers with one L, maybe he might have some harsh hits.
Yeah, but
for the lack of playoff success.
True that. But at least with Justin Herbert back there, he might, he might, Melvin Ingram, give them a reason why he should have still been on that team.
I do think Frank Clark had his best jumps I have seen from him since he's gotten to Kansas City. He had that one offsides, but even that offsides looked very close to him timing it perfectly.
He was a little half step off.
I think he's.
I'm just saying when they slowed it down, I don't know.
It looks like he's feeling it.
Well, I was going to say, it looks like he's completely healthy. I mean, because I think this is really the first time in his Kansas City career that he's actually been healthy, where, whatever injuries or nagging injuries he had early in the season is gone. So, obviously, players will be sore, things of that nature. But I think that right now this is literally as healthy that I can see that this team has been thus far this season.
Oh, for sure, especially on defense. I mean, they're way better off than they've been.
Which is allowing Spags to just dial up whatever he wants and call whatever plays that he wants because the players are healthy. They know the plays. They know where they need to be. And look, we got to give a shout out to Tyrann Mathieu yesterday. I was thinking about this. I'm like, he went from calling the fans toxic to being NFL Man of the Year for the Chiefs as a nominee, and the fans loving him once again.
Well, I think they loved him the whole time.
I don't think they loved him when he told me.
Well, no, they didn't like that, but that's still just the people who are on Instagram. Most people aren't on Instagram. The Chiefs fans at Arrowhead have always loved him, and they need to stay off Instagram.
Yeah, but there wasn't
not do these things.
But Leabo,
it was mostly Hitchens' fault on that deal.
But Leabo, there wasn't social media around when Steve Bono talked about the restaurants and the barbecue.
No.
So
but
word traveled fast too.
It did. But Tyrann, I think one of the more interesting things about this team during the entire year has been bad bounces, luck, whatever. Right? We've seen that. We've seen several balls that bounced out of Pro Bowl players' hands.
About 7. And
we've seen plenty of times where, at the end of the game up in Baltimore, the dude backhands the ball out of Clyde's hands and somehow recovers it himself. I mean, it's just insane, that play, to think that you could,
literally had a bounce.
Away. So yesterday, the Chiefs go out there and Jaron Reed hits the ball. It just bounces right to Mike Houston and scores a touchdown. That's great, right? And then later, when the tight end caught the ball, the punch from behind, and it was that Hunter Renfrow fumbled it, but it was right to number 87, Moreau, the tight end.
Yeah.
He can't recover it, so Tyrann gets it, right? Then they have the interception that Tyrann got, ball just bouncing up in the air. That was kind of like a Chiefs interception. That was like what we've seen with Travis Kelce.
Yes.
So and then Clyde fumbled the ball, dribbled it right down his legs, right? Fell right on it. I mean, they got the best bounces you ever saw yesterday. I hope they didn't use all 4 or 5 great bounces yesterday.
Well, Leabo, you got to remember one thing. They were due some bounces considering Andrew Luck fumbling to himself for a touchdown.
No, they've had plenty of those.
Mariota throwing a touchdown to himself.
Yes.
So the Chiefs were due to have some better luck regression.
And I've said this before, and this is not a slight to Patrick Mahomes. He has had more than his share of good luck on some wild ass throws he's made and dropped interceptions and all that. Boy, yesterday the sun was shining on the Chiefs because everything happened good for them with every bounce that you saw. It was crazy how good it was going for them yesterday. Just as in the Chargers game earlier this year, it wasn't very good. That was the one where the ball went off Marcus Kemp, right?
Sure.
And I can't believe that ball was intercepted. I mean, it's one thing to throw a pass a little hot, but the dude made a great interception on it. And, Clyde had a fumble in that game where the ball just bounced to them too. So football, this ain't a basketball. It's not round, right? So it bounces funny, and the Chiefs got all the bounces yesterday. So they need to keep them 50-50. 100% good bounces if you use great, but I'd take your chance if they were 50-50. But they had a great day with luck yesterday, and they need to have that, kind of continue because now they're back to even on turnovers.
Yeah.
After it's been a long time since they were even.
We're joined by Todd Leabo today. We'll get a little bit of Leabo on Friday following the Chiefs game as well. But we're going to take a quick time out. Do have bills to pay. You're listening to Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
In these trying times, Kansas City Credit Union knows how important cash flow is in your household. With rates near all-time lows, now's the time to take action. Free up some cash by lowering your monthly car loan payment when you refinance your auto loan with Kansas City Credit Union. And as a bonus, Kansas City Credit Union will delay your payments for 90 days. Visit kansascitycreditunion.com/810sports for more information. Kansas City Credit Union, your path to financial freedom.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A KC tradition since 1957 and voted the best steak in Kansas City, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservations. Follow Hereford House on Facebook and Instagram for exclusive specials. Hereford House, voted Kansas City's favorite steakhouse.
Space Camper Cosmic IPA is a juicy hot blast of flavor. Citrusy and balanced, this is an IPA with a mission to save the Earth because it's the only planet with beer. You might not know it, but Boulevard Brewing Company has been passionate about taking care of our planet for decades. Between their zero-waste brewery to Ripple Glass, Boulevard has been making great beer you can feel great about. Stock up on Space Camper Cosmic IPA today. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
Everyone knows Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. Did you know it's also time to save hundreds, even thousands on patio furniture, pool tables, shuffleboard, and more? You can beef up your entertainment area with couches, sectionals, and theater seating now on sale at Family Leisure. Make it a September to remember with special 810 listener pricing at Family Leisure. Spas, basketball goals, play sets, trampolines, everything for family and fun together on sale at Family Leisure. K10 in Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome.
Hi, Ollie Gates here. The Gates family would like to say thank you for allowing us to serve you for 75 years, a milestone which would not have been possible without your support. Thanks again, and remember, whatever the case may be, keep the faith.
Autograph? No?
It's not turn up the radio.
It sounded like
some autograph, though. I'll give you that one.
I'm going to need some singing. When's the singing coming in?
Pretty soon. Darren and Sterling here, ESPN, Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com. Todd Leabo joining us in studio, trying to see if we can get this. Come on,
Is that damn Yankees? No.
It's a pretty distinctive voice.
But it's Kiss.
It is Kiss.
Who's the lead singer of Kiss, Darren?
I don't know.
Paul Stanley. Come on.
Oh, I don't know. No, he's going to say Mick Jagger or somebody.
The tears are falling. Mick Jagger.
It took you a little bit there. I see. I pulled one out. It's not Detroit Rock City.
No, that's not the Kiss of my youth. That's the Kiss of my adolescence there. When the tears are falling come out.
Probably Eric Carr may have been drumming.
Yeah. I saw Kiss in concert at the Municipal Auditorium when they didn't have makeup on. Unmasked.
Oh, unmasked.
Yeah.
That was the first concert I think I remember was Kiss. Front row. Think about that.
How did he get on the front row? This guy's got it all, doesn't he?
Well, you know how awesome / scary it is when you're like a 10-year-old kid and you just see Gene Simmons spitting blood? It was pretty sweet. It was pretty cool.
We took what year? Probably 2007. Something like that. Our kids were in middle school, and like 4 of us dads took our boys to Kiss.
Oh yeah.
At what was then Sprint Center, now T-Mobile Center, and it was a family-friendly show.
Oh, I was at that one too.
It was like they made an announcement. I can't remember who the opening act was. The guy almost said, "Hey, thanks for effing coming out." And they go, "Oh, I forgot. It's family friendly," because all these kids are there. Because it's like going to the circus.
Yeah.
Anymore, it's just all it is pyrotechnics and lights and everything. So they keep it pretty clean because they know there's a bunch of 12-year-olds at the concert because their parents are old and want to take them to it. You know,
Leabo, I was there with you.
You were there. They had to close the upper deck because they didn't sell enough tickets. Let everyone sit downstairs.
It was sweet.
Yeah,
they played God of Thunder. I remember that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bobby Brown. though. I heard he had a hell of a performance last night down at the T-Mobile Center. Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat. Okay.
Keith Sweat's still with us. That's good.
Damn, Leabo, he what you mean?
Well, I don't know.
Still with us. I mean,
Come on,
damn.
And Luther's dead. Keith Sweat. They sing the same kind of songs, didn't they? But he never got big though. Like
yeah, but
Luther.
he got
pretty big.
He's not. I mean, he's not old.
So did you
Charlie
watch
Wilson's age?
Did
right?
you watch last week? They did the Facts of Life and Different Strokes thing live.
I heard it in front of Slot, but I didn't get a chance to see
I
it.
was watching it, and I think it was a Belle Biv DeVoe guy sang the theme song live to Different Strokes.
How was it?
Really?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Kevin Hart was hilarious. He was freaking, Arnold Jackson.
Oh, yeah, he's that size. So.
I mean, it was so funny because John Lithgow was Philip Drummond.
Yeah,
and there was a part where he picked him up,
put him on his lap.
Put him on his lap. Oh my God, I was laughing my ass off. It was very funny. It was very funny.
We're joined by Sports Radio 810's sports director Todd Leabo. Look, in the
I
last
apologize to Keith Sweat. I wasn't saying he should be dead.
Yeah, that's pretty.
The man has a radio
harsh.
show.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact.
I'm sorry.
Now Bobby Brown, but again, he was
hey,
here.
He's still alive. That might be shocking. That might be more surprising. 20 years ago that Bobby Brown still be alive.
That's more shocking. That is more shocking.
My prerogative.
I will say in the last segment before we get out, we're gonna figure out some of these bets because yesterday, I'm literally going back and looking at it. I'm like, there was 2 parlays that I had. One was a 7-leg, one was a 6-leg, and it's like it's always just that one team. And I'm looking at I had Portland -1. They lost by 5 to Minnesota last night. And then we were talking with Leabo about the Cleveland Browns. Like I had them -2.5. They lost by 2. Like seriously,
the Detroit Lions crushed all of mine because they had 11.5 point, and I go, oh, Detroit can cover 11.5. And then they had 7 guys like in pregame go, you have COVID, and it was like, oh, so they're running out a 7th string running back. Oh, like
30 something to 10 or something like that.
Well, they had no one. It was Jared Goff and then literally guys I've never even heard of. And I follow the NFL very closely.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
they had practice squad. That's why they have practice squads are big now.
But I will say, they
didn't show up.
I will say, Leabo, shout out to KU. I know we're gonna be talking NFL, but shout out to KU. They did what they're supposed to do. They put the beat down. Oh yeah,
and over.
They did that for me because. If you don't know this one, because I know you're not on social media as much, I did actually publicize a special request for KU to beat them at least by 24 and the score of 142 combined points.
As a Mizzou fan, you know why I like that? One step closer to getting Kwanzaa out of there. I mean, he is the worst head coach in all of Power 5 conferences, hands down. Not even.
I don't know if he's the worst head coach. I think he might have the worst.
Sterling,
he might have the worst team. He might have the worst team in all of Power 5.
Well, whose fault is that?
Well,
he assembled it.
That is true.
This is year 5. It's not his first year. It's year 5.
Hey, leave the brother alone.
No, it was year 5. He's a horrible coach.
You take some of that bass out your voice when you talk about Kwanzaa.
He is a horrible head coach. Great guy. Great human being.
He might be.
Horrible head coach.
But he's still a brother.
For about 3 months, it was a big deal. Because he had the Porter brothers coming, and it was all good.
The dad. That's the only reason why he got him.
And then he has not capitalized on it.
Capitalism.
He hasn't done it. He hasn't gotten it done. And it's not good. Because he was supposed to get those guys there and Jeremiah Tillman and continue to recruit near that level. And he's not recruited at that level.
I will say the most interesting about Kwanzaa Martin when I watch him, he always look like he's ready to fight somebody. Like,
he doesn't have a smile face.
I do love that about him. He looks like he's about to just go off on the reps at any moment.
Hey, when he got a technical sound, I'm like, what do you? And I could get why he was upset because he looked like his players were getting fouled. They weren't getting the calls, and he got the.
Well, it was only 9 fouls to 2 in the first half.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the KU home cook was alive and well, but again, that's not 37 points worth.
No.
And also shout out, they did have Bill Self mac and cheese yesterday, so on Saturday. So Matt took care of your boy. He made sure there was a to-go box there for me. So
yeah, Darren ate some and then took some.
I did. It was good, man. That was what I had for dinner that night.
See, it's good. I had a lot of salad, and I ate some Bill Self mac and cheese. I didn't eat any cookies, and I ate about.
You said you had one.
No, I ate about 3 bites out of a dilly bar at halftime. No cookies.
I did too.
I didn't finish the dilly bar.
Any other major takeaways from week 14 yesterday on the Sunday games? Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdown performance. They had to come back from behind to beat Chicago Bears.
I think we need to credit Sterling's Bills for not falling over and just dying. They fought back. Now, they didn't win. Okay.
They had a chance to.
They had a chance.
The refs really tried to help Tom Brady out there. No. Every single 50-50 call went his way.
I don't think they tried it. I think they did a good job.
They did it.
The refs did a good job.
They did a good job.
I mean, they won.
But I'll credit them because I thought, you were sitting there watching that game at 20-43. Like, have these guys just folded shop? You know, they lost the Patriots on Monday night, and you go down here and you're going to lose this one like that. But they fought back. Now, we'll see if that can propel them, because if they win out, they've got a chance to win that division still. Because they got to beat the Patriots. They need the Patriots to lose a game, and Sterling's calling for them to lose a game.
Too.
But they were toast if they didn't show me some fight yesterday, and they did. Now, I don't know if that means they're going to win any more games, but they at least gave us an entertaining product. So that's something to take away, because I thought they were totally toast when that happened.
They got to get their They got to get their running game together, though.
I think the big story in the AFC is going to be what's up with Lamar and this leg injury.
They're expecting him to play Sunday against the Packers.
If he plays, that's big, because the Browns are a mess, but they almost won against the Browns with backups. But they didn't
got the onside kick too.
They did. And there's the big fight. Now, I know you love analytics, and everyone's making fun of everyone in the CBS studio. I understand why, when you're down 15, you go for 2.
Talking about with Harbaugh.
Yeah, I understand why you do it.
Done it too.
On the first one.
Yeah.
But I also understand why you wouldn't on the first one.
Have you seen the numbers that have come out of why you do it on the first one compared to the second one?
Because then you know
what you want.
I understand you know what you want. But here's the point. All these guys who are too deep in the analytics say, well, then and you have to get one anyway. Why not try to get it first? Well, if you fail, then you're effed, which they were.
Sure.
It took an onside kick to have a prayer to get something done.
So then you want him to get close and lose by 1 later in the game?
No,
because if it's the same play call, is the theory is if it's the same play call, same scenario, you want to know the facts early.
You could execute it better. I don't think there's any way, and this is where analytics blow my mind. Nothing's the same later. You can't say it's the same later. The wind could be blowing differently. You could be going a different direction of the field. Someone could get hurt.
Sure, if it's the Buffalo Bills Patriots weather-wise, then I would say you have a good case there.
When people get on Twitter and they just say these guys don't know what they're doing
I agree.
All that stuff.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and I think the new age analytics can be good. All right, but they can also bite you in the ass.
Sure.
Like Staley, could get bitten in the butt with going for 4th down all these times. It is not a 100% thing to go for 2 the first touchdown. It's not. It's maybe a little more conservative to do it the other way, but it's also, in the end, if you don't get it, just because you have to score twice, doesn't mean that's better. You only have to score once, then that's better than having to score twice.
I would like to have the knowledge and the facts early rather than later, and then trying to, because say you do it late, then you really have no chance.
Yeah, but
you have no chance. You get the 2-point conversion. You get 2-point conversion.
Game's over.
Well, who cares?
Well, wouldn't you want to have the ability to at least try and make it a game earlier on than say, oh well, let's wait until the very end, lose, and then we actually have 0 chance.
I probably would have played the game. You should have enough confidence you're going to design a 2-point play that'll work. But here's what I think about 2-point plays now. I think the numbers are going to go down on 2-point plays because they do them more. People defend them more. They're more ready for them now. A 2-point play used to be like a unicorn. No one would ever do it, right? Sure. And now people are ready for that stuff. So I think it's harder to get 2-point plays, and I think people are ready for them now. So I would rather roll my dice at the end and know that I'm going to tie the game with this play. Because if you miss it and then now you change everything you're doing, you get field goal next time or what? I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. I just think it's not going for 2 when you're down 15 isn't like going for 2 when you're down 8, which is a 100% thing. It's not 100% to do it the way some people think you should be doing it.
I will say, hold on, Sterling. I will say this because as much as I don't like him as a head coach, Mike McCarthy did make a lot of sense because I think they talked about why the Cowboys were going for going on 4th down early and often. I like his assessment that the more you, I guess for them, the more you do it now, when you get to the playoff time, it's not something that your butt puckers up because you're wondering whether or not you're going to get it or whether or not you're going to be able to be successful in it. I don't mind Harbaugh doing it because one, that's already in his DNA. I mean, when he came to Kansas City a couple of years ago,
he did it on the very first drive of the game. But that's not about math. That's about just doing it. This thing yesterday was about the math.
But you're arguing against math, which is
I think the argument is a valid argument.
It's a valid argument, but
7 + 8 is 15.
Sure.
8 + 7 is 15.
100% it is.
That's
the point is, wouldn't you want to have the information earlier so you would have a chance to know what you need to do later on in the game than say, now we're just completely screwed?
Well, what do you mean?
Well,
I don't understand.
No,
because
what if
I'm trying to help you out.
The information is if you go for 1 and then now you're down 8, that's the same information.
I understand what you're saying, but say you score and kick the extra point first, so now you're down 8 with the last possession.
Mm-hmm.
You play that possession differently because you think this is the last possession of the game. If, for example, say you miss the 2-point conversion early on, now you know what
you have to be desperate. Now you have to go for 4th downs. You may not have to go for it.
But guess what? But now you know, and now you still have a chance to win the game. Where if all of a sudden you do the very last possession,
I'll ask you a simple question.
Sure,
I'll ask you a simple question. Would you rather be down 9 or down 8 in a football game?
Oh, down 8.
Okay.
But would you rather down 8 or down 7? You did not make your point.
My point is this.
You're acting like a 2-point conversion is an automatic success if you do it in the last possession of the game.
It's not.
I don't understand that argument.
It's not.
Why do you think it's a better chance of you converting a 2-point conversion the second time
than
the first time?
I don't think it's better. I think you know that you only have to score 1 more time instead of scoring 2 more times. Would you rather score 1 more time or 2 more times?
Leabo, you're blowing my mind right here.
I'm asking. I see the point and I get your point.
The numbers legitimately back up.
It's not
what
100%.
I'm saying.
It's not 100%. It's not 100% to go for it.
2-point conversions aren't 100%.
No, they're not. And extra points aren't either.
Sure.
By the way, which I would love to have had the Ravens make the 2-point conversion and then miss the extra point. I thought that would have been
very
2021 NFL football. But I'm the same kind of guy that sometimes, like when I play blackjack, I'm a little more conservative. I'm not going to hit all the time, and that doesn't make some people happy or whatever.
I'm more aggressive. You're more conservative, and Darren's counting cards. We get it.
But my rule on blackjack is, and you can tell me, you've been to a lot of casinos, Darren, in your life.
Don't put my business out there
you put your business out here about casinos. I know normally you would rather play roulette or craps or something like that. But
that's fine.
But have you ever seen them pay a person after the person has busted?
Nope.
They take your cards away.
No,
so
I'm just like you. I'm just like you. So I don't care what the other people are doing, because if I bust, you're not cutting me. You ain't, you hit.
When the dealer busts and you bust, who wins?
Everybody else.
The house wins because you busted.
Yeah.
So if you don't bust and the dealer busts, you win. So I'm a little more conservative that way. I'm not saying I would never.
You play to win the game.
Well, I think playing to win the game can be kicking an extra point and being down 8 as well. I just think it can be.
It's a hard disagree for me.
But hold on. Now, this is where I kind of side with Harbaugh. Now, again, if I'm down,
when do you start doing the math? First quarter, you're down 15. You're going for it then.
Here's my deal. But now, I don't have a problem with you going for it early.
First quarter either.
Sterling, I'm talking. Y'all gonna quit interrupting me while I'm trying to get my thought out. Now, when you talk about when did you go, I don't have a problem with you going earlier because you don't know what the remainder of the game is going to look like. Because if anybody could predict the future, then of course you'd be able to kick it and go for 2 because you know how the game's going to turn out. But again, if you're down 15, yeah, you can go for 2. You don't make it, okay, cool. But the next time you get possession of the ball, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be in the red zone. You might be within a field goal range or in field goal range versus being able to convert. And depending on if you're close to halftime, yeah, you would have liked to have been down 8, perhaps even 7. But if you go from 6 to you're down 9, and then you go down and you're down by 6 because you kick a field goal and you still got quarter, depending on the time that's left in the ball game. I don't have an issue with somebody going for 2 because, again, I'm a gambler. I will go for 2 more often, but that's just me because I think, going 1 or 2 yards is much better than some of these kickers kicking from 35 yards out.
Yeah, that I think that has changed the math a little bit, but I think there's a time and a place to do this stuff because they when did they do it? It was the
Leabo?
fourth quarter. It was 9 minutes to go in the game when they went for the 2 the first time. Where do you start doing it? I don't know.
Well, we'll figure that out on the other side of break. You listen to Darren and Phil right here on ESPN Kansas City.
A KC tradition since 1957 and voted the best steak in Kansas City, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservations. Follow Hereford House on Facebook and Instagram for exclusive specials. Hereford House, voted Kansas City's favorite steakhouse.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey Chiefs fans, this is Patrick Mahomes. Leave the touchdowns to me this season, but make sure you don't miss a minute of the excitement at Arrowhead. Tickets for Less will help you pick your favorite seat to see me in action at every home game, and then deliver the tickets straight to your phone for easy access. Don't get stuck paying a bunch of service fees on other sites. Let my friends over at Tickets for Less hook you up with the best seats and the best prices. Score your Chiefs tickets now at ticketsforless.com.
I don't know this one.
You'll know it. I don't want another heartbreak. I don't need another turn.
Winona Judd.
At least he guessed.
Not bad. Sounds like Bonnie Raitt or somebody, but I don't know.
I love Bonnie Raitt. Not Bonnie Raitt.
Who is it?
Faith Hill.
I don't know Faith Hill. I don't like country music.
It's 90s. Come on. I tried giving you a throwback one.
Leabo. I mean, Stone, don't ever play that.
No more country music.
I tried to stump Leabo and it worked. Leabo
got me.
Leabo struggled today.
Stone, I give you benefit of the doubt playing the rock and roll, but don't do this to the show.
Well, it's a great show.
No,
Darren and
don't
Sterling
do
here,
this to the
ESPN Kansas City. Todd Leabo joining us. This is a great song.
I know that hook.
Please turn it down, turn it off. Please.
It's a great song.
No, it's not. It might be, but not for this. No, not for our demo.
Anyway,
I still got street cred to worry.
We got to talk about the bets because Sterling and I aren't going to agree entirely on this. I'm not totally against it. I just think there's a time.
Well, who do you got in tonight's game? Because I probably Kyler Murray's an Oklahoma grad. But.
No, I think they beat them pretty easily in LA before, so I think this is probably a spot where the Cardinals have not been able to finish seasons yet. Right. So this is the part where they're going to probably start falling apart. They got it all sitting right there in front of them. I think they're probably going to lose this game or something.
Really?
Because I just don't believe in Cliff Kingsbury as much as anything. What I would like to see.
I'm not making a bet on this game.
Is I need give me some Zach Ertz, give me some Rondale Moore, give me some James Conner. I have 3 guys tonight.
Okay.
And I need lots from them. Lots.
Okay, so you're looking at some player parlay type stuff. Okay.
Well, I'm in my DraftKings fantasy week.
Just so you guys know, Jalen Ramsey, Tyler Higbee, out.
What?
growing COVID list just came out.
Let me put some money on this.
Jalen Ramsey,
game.
Tyler Higbee, unless it's going to be like some false positive that comes out. But according to ESPN,
Arizona's still -3. So if I'm going to do
they
it,
were -2, if that makes a difference. Because I have the Rams winning straight out. I still have the Rams. I got in before.
You got your MVP.
I had to go before this information came out, but I'm still got to go with the Rams. Again, I'm kind of with you. I think Sean McVay's a better head coach than Cliff Kingsbury. I think Matt Stafford, he's been here. He's done it. I like the Rams.
But Stafford hasn't won any big games minus the Tampa game. And I think that was more defense than anything else.
Again, he's been in the NFL a long time. He hasn't had anything to work with. You see the Detroit teams.
Yeah, but the Rams defensively, they still haven't been able to kind of put things together. I mean, and I'm with you. I think it's going to be a good game. I can't touch this game tonight. I can't touch it. I've got a parlay, and I got some 17 parlay. Y'all can tell me yay or nay. Sterling, Cleveland Cavaliers -5.5 against Miami.
No, Miami always seems to come away with the victory every time I bet against them.
See, now I got to put some. Okay, so Golden State -3.5 against the Pacers.
Love it.
Raptors -4.5 against Sacramento.
No, Sacramento's a wild card. I don't bet against Sacramento.
Atlanta Hawks -7 against Houston Rockets.
Ooh, Houston's been on a heater, but I like it.
Milwaukee Bucks, they're -1, but I bought some points over Boston Celtics.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
Philly -3.5 against Grizzlies.
That's your Philly.
Do they let down? They beat the Golden State Warriors, but I don't know if it's a letdown game. I like it.
Phoenix Suns -3.5 against the Clips.
I love it.
Okay, good. Well, we'll see what happens. If it hits, $500, we go shopping.
Well, Todd Leabo, thank you so much. Darren, for me, Sterling Holmes, we'll be back tomorrow 3 to 4 p.m. We are out.